Alright everybody, and welcome back to Knight Gabriel, father of the sin. When last we left off, we infiltrated a voodoo ritual, and we saw Malia Getty, presumably being ridden by the Loa known as Tetelo, who, well, it's a long story. She, and as far as I understand it, Gunther Ritter had a thing back in the day, and he ended up betraying her, and she stole the Ritter talisman, and it's a big deal, you know. Anyway, a lot of stuff happened. We infiltrated the circle. Dr. John blew some anthrax in our face, and we probably would have died if Grace hadn't pulled our dick out of the fire. Metaphorically, metaphorically, of course, but there was a big fire there, so I'm not ruling it out as a possibility that it was a literal situation, but metaphorically, she saved our ass, okay? And now we're here. We've been advised to call Uncle Wolfgang and see what's up. See if we can find out any more information about this Tetelo business, maybe get some information about where to go. Mosley, as far as the police are concerned, no longer exists. So it's the best we can do as far as that goes. Hopefully he'll turn something up soon. So anyway, let's go ahead and give old Uncle Wolfgang a call, see how that business is going. Maybe we'll even learn something. The game will explain it certainly better than I will.
Please hang up.
God damn it. No. Okay. I wrote this down, I swear. God damn it. 3, 2,
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
This is Gabriel Knight. Can I speak to Wolfgang, please?
It's a
Ja, Herr
Schottenjäger
Knight.
emergency.
Einen Moment, bitte.
Gabriel, it's so good to hear your voice. I had such a dream last night.
There's a good reason for that, Uncle Wolfgang. We need to talk.
Gabriel fills in Wolfgang on the events of the previous evening.
Ah, it is even worse than I thought.
You bet it is. We have to talk about what I'm supposed to do.
Alright, we finally have a actual traditional conversation window with Uncle Wolfgang himself, but we can't see him because he's on the phone and there's no like video calling or anything like that, so we just have to imagine he looks like us, but in shadowy light. So, what can you tell me about voodoo?
What can you tell me about voodoo?
It sounds as though you have learned much during your investigation in New Orleans. Perhaps you will fill me in when we have a chance to sit down and talk.
Yeah, so obviously he's going to know more about the Schottenjäger stuff, but let's go ahead and exhaust our dialogue
What
options
do you
as
know
one
about
does.
the voodoo murders?
I know only what you have told me. They seem to be very similar to the killings in Gunther's journal.
Well, he's probably not going to know much about New Orleans. What about snakes?
Do you know anything about snakes?
I have not studied the subject. I have an intense dislike for them.
What about Cabri Sankar that we already know the meaning
Do you
of?
have any idea what Cabri sans coeur means?
No, what does it mean?
It means goat without horns. It's a term used for human sacrifice in voodoo.
Well, let's hope we can avoid any more of that in this family.
Thank you for the useless information, Gabriel.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
No, I'm afraid not.
You sure?
I've heard rumors of a secret hound fool here in New Orleans.
Yeah, I am sure they have a temple there, and probably a very elaborate one. You should not go near it, though. Not alone.
I see. Well, we don't even know where it is, if there even is one.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Yes, Tetelo's people wear animal masks for their rituals, don't they? It is not at all uncommon. Many occult groups are based heavily on animal totems. Animals have such pure, primal traits. Spirituality, good or bad, is about reaching these pure levels. Aggressive and cunning like the snake. Agile and nurturing like the monkey. Even our
Yes,
family is associated
the
with the image
nurturing
of a
monkey.
lion.
Okay, what can you tell me about Veves?
Do you know anything about Veves?
It is a visual symbol of one or more Loa. Each Loa has its own sign, which is used to summon it.
I see.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Dambala's a snake. He is a Loa, a voodoo god.
Yes. He's one of the primary Loa of the Gedi tribe.
I see. Good work. That information might prove useful.
What about Ogun Badagri?
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
It is a voodoo Loa, is it not?
Yes, a particularly nasty one, so I understand. Have you come across anything about it in your research?
He seems to be feared by most voodoo groups. I haven't come across very much specific information.
Well, that was helpful. How about the, Black Voodoo?
Do you know anything about Black Voodoo?
My library contains many books on the occult and religions, and I have read about some particularly evil voodoo cults. But you, at this point, have more direct experience than I.
Yes. Anyway, what we actually called about.
What can you tell me about Schattenjägers?
Yes, of course. I sometimes forget how little you know of the family, Gabriel. I never understood how Heinz could allow his sons to remain ignorant. But now is not the time for that discussion. Schattenjäger is really two words in English, Gabriel. Schatten means shadow, and Jäger means hunter.
Nice.
Shadow Hunter.
Yes, shadow hunter.
We hunt the shadows. And monsters and stuff, I'm assuming.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We Ritters have been Schattenjägers for many centuries. No one is sure when it began or how, but we have records of ancestors as early as the 13th century fulfilling this role. Some believe that the role was given us when... But such fantasies cannot be of use to you at the moment, Gabriel.
I like fantasies.
Tell me more about
Most people are completely blind to the fact that evil does exist. It is out of vogue at the present, but I tell you, shadows of darkness, spirits, vampires, witches, demons, these things are real. It is to their advantage that the world has become so scientific, so cynical. But we know they exist, Gabriel, and we hunt them.
How do we hunt them? And why?
Why? Because it is our duty. We are the ones who know, Gabriel. As for how, that is something you will have to learn. But it is not easily explained over the phone.
I can't teach you how to hunt big scary demons over the phone.
Tell me more about Schattenjägers.
We can talk more about that later, Gabriel.
Okay, he's out of dialogue for that. And just because it's
Do
here...
you know anything about Rada drums?
Rada drums? You mean ceremonial drums?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. The Gedi tribe uses drummers around the French Quarter as relay messengers to keep track of their business.
Those drums have a ceremonial use, too. It would be useful to know their code, Gabriel.
Good thing
I
I
had
do.
Grace find some information on them.
That's my boy.
Alright, so tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
I hope there will be time for that later, Gabriel, after this is all over. For now, we must deal with the matter at hand.
Fine, he doesn't actually want to go on about himself. I can respect that. Tell me about Tetelo.
Tell me about Tetelo.
Well, from your description of the ritual last night, I'd say that Gunther's mistress, Tetelo, is now the primary Loa for the Gedi tribe. It seems she still controls them by possessing her female descendants and speaking through them. Do you remember in Gunther's journal he said that Tetelo was possessed by her father's Loa during the killings in Charleston?
This sounds similar, but Tetelo has obviously become a much more powerful Loa than her father ever was. Probably because of the added power of the talisman.
Yeah, about that talisman.
Let's talk about the talisman.
I myself have only seen it in old sketches and paintings, and in my dreams. It was in the family for centuries before Tetelo took it. It is believed to be as old as the role of Schattenjäger itself. The talisman has genuine power. I don't know how or why, but it is so.
Magic.
The Schattenjägers swore to use the power for good, never for evil. For defense, not offense. Since it fell into Tetlo's hands, I'm afraid to think what the power has been used for, or what it will be used for in the future. With the talisman, Tetlow has all the power and we none. The only possible way to fight her is to regain the talisman. Then we will at least be on more equal footing.
So there's a couple more things. I think we can dig a little bit deeper into both of these topics. I don't want to accidentally trigger the end of the conversation too early, though.
Tell me more about Tetlow.
I believe she truly loved Gunther. After all, she was raised to be her father's daughter. Their religion was not a choice she made, but a duty she endured. How can she be blamed for that? The spirit she has become, that is a different matter. It is utterly evil. I am certain that the lower Tetlow bears little resemblance to the woman Tetlow was before the burning in Charleston.
I see.
Tell me more about Tetlow.
She once was a beautiful and intelligent woman, and she probably did not deserve Gunther's betrayal. But the Tetlow we fight now is more akin to her tribe's dark gods than to anything human in nature.
Anything else?
Tell me more about Tetlow.
She once was a beautiful...
Okay, he's just going to repeat himself. All right, now we got to dig more into the talisman, I believe.
How can we regain the talisman?
We've been searching for the talisman for years, ever since we lost it. It's a terrible thing to know that something powerful that was entrusted to us is in the wrong hands. The talisman is probably buried with Tetlow's remains.
And where are they?
That's what gives her lore so much power.
Okay, well, where are those?
How would we find Tetlow's remains?
Ha! We have pondered that question a long time, the Ritters. There are two probabilities. The first is that her remains are with the tribe at their current location. The other is that the remains were returned to a sacred place near the tribe's original homeland. We've tried to locate Tetlow's African homeland, but Gunther says so little in his journal about her tribe, and slaving records are practically non-existent. Also, Tetlow's tribe was utterly destroyed in its African form in the late 17th century. There was nothing like a census in Africa then. As for the other idea, we had no clue as to where Tetlow's people went after fleeing Charleston, until now.
I think Hartridge's notes kind of say that about Veve was from the Republic of Benin, I believe.
Let's discuss the possible African homeland.
All right. Have you learned anything that might help us locate it?
I spoke with the Professor Hartridge. Unfortunately for him, he thinks the tribe's name was Agri, and that they lived near the Fon tribe in what is now called the People's Republic of Benin.
That is incredible, Gabriel. I must go research this new information in my library right now.
Wait, what should I do?
Stay low. If you get a chance, you might look into the possibility that Tetlow's remains are somewhere in New Orleans. But don't try to broach their private areas without my assistance, Gabriel. You will make a fine Schattenjäger, but only if you are not dead.
Gabriel's been
Sure,
broaching
I'll
their
wait.
private areas
Bye,
for a
said
while
Gabriel.
now.
And remember, if you need a place of safety, come to Schloss Ritter.
Goodbye, Uncle Wolfgang.
All right, so if we utterly screw the pooch, we can flee to Germany. Got it. All right, so that's pretty much our only real hint for this chapter, is we should try to find Tetlow's remains here in New Orleans. And remember the Getty tribe had a tomb in the cemetery, so that might be a good place to look. But we have our normal daily rituals we're going to do right quick.
That doesn't...
We're going to read the newspaper.
Times-Picayune, dated June 24th, 1993. There's nothing about the voodoo murders case in the papers today. Gabriel finds a humorous tidbit under the Life is Stranger Than Fiction column. Apparently, there were reports of ghosts in the Bayou Saint Jean last night.
Imagine that.
Various people called the newspaper with stories about hearing strange noises. Gabriel's horoscope today reads, "Wise is the warrior who knows when to fight and when to get the hell out of dodge."
God help me, I'm actually starting to listen to this guy.
Before, I just read them because I was bored. How you doing, Grace?
Grace, about last night.
I've already said everything I have to say about that.
Alright, I don't think we really have anything interesting or new to tell them. And hopefully, if I remember, I'll edit that little bit about the horoscopes back in. That seems to be the point I screw up a lot. Anyway, let's hit the road. There's not a whole lot of places
I'm
we
going out
can
for a bit.
Be careful.
we can still get to today. Say we wanted to pay these voodoo guys a visit once again.
The Dixieland drugstore is locked and barred tight.
And we could go try to pay Dr. John a visit. That would be kind of awkward.
Posted on the door of the museum is a sign saying, closed until further notice.
Yeah, that would be awkward anyway. I'm surprised Gabriel even drove up there. We can make a little quick stop by the police station. Nothing particularly important here. But we can ask how our old friend Frick is doing. He's always lovely for a little conversation.
Excuse me, Officer Frick.
Whatever it is, no. Now get out of here before I have you arrested for disturbing the peace.
Can I just ask you some questions?
Officer Frick seems to be in no mood for further interaction with Gabriel.
Alright, well, he's not talking to us, and it's probably best not to bother those people too much more. I have a feeling they're not exactly our friends. So head on over to St. Louis Cemetery number 1. Hey man, how you doing? We don't need to talk to you. You have a great day. Oh, well, that's different.
The plate is up. Beneath the plate is a button.
It's a high-tech tomb. Let's go ahead and investigate, shall we?
Gabriel hears the faint sound of breaking glass.
Steps inside.
Damn. You'd think there'd be a light.
And all the way back in episode 1, we picked up a flashlight, and we'll finally get to use it. Now this, you actually click where you want to move the light to. I don't know if these things actually have a name. These little shelf tombs things. Looks like there's some shattered glass on the
There's
floor.
broken glass on the floor.
Where did that come from? Uh-huh.
Someone's broken the light in here. No wonder it's so dark.
I see. So maybe there's someone, like, in here right now. I guess we just start opening shelves. Finally get to use our open icon here. Well, this guy's, dead.
The drawers' interiors contain mostly dust and bones.
Can we loot the body?
There's nothing Gabriel would care to touch in that part of the drawer.
Okay.
Gab-
How about this one? No, just another dead body.
The drawers' interiors contain...
Do these the
The
plaques say
black
anything?
on the drawer has a name etched on it. Zelia Gede.
What about this one?
That drawer is marked with a pattern like the Veve.
Uh-huh. Well, let's open it then.
Mosley.
Well, god damn it.
Shit, I dropped my flashlight.
Jesus Christ, dude. Sometime later.
Ouch, my head. What the hell was that?
Well, here we go getting more people killed. Might as well loot the body. And it's gone.
Mosley's body is gone.
That's quite unfortunate. At least we can... I think we just jacked his wallet. Poor guy.
It's a man's wallet.
Thank you.
There's not...
Open the goddamn
Gabriel
wallet.
opens the wallet and finds some ID belonging to Mosley and an American's repressed card.
Look. Look, I know... Look, he's dead. He don't need it, okay? Don't look at me like that. I could use this money.
Mosley's Americans Repressed card. Credit. What a concept.
You see, it's like American Express, but it says Americans Repressed. See, it's like it's a joke. Anyways, I wonder what happened to him.
Gabriel,
And who conked us on the head.
that area.
Alright.
Gabriel,
Well, I guess we can't hit the button unless we have the light on it. Let's get out of here then. Well, that's enough for that for today. Let's get out of here.
Where have you been? I was worried about you.
Yeah, things are great.
For good reason, apparently.
What happened? Do you need a doctor?
Nothing you want to know about, and no, just some aspirin.
Gabriel, this is nuts. You have to get out of New Orleans.
No kidding.
Well,
Yeah,
listen.
I noticed.
Wolfgang called while you were out. He said, and I quote, "Tell Gabriel that I found what I was looking for. It's time for me to do my duty. Schloss Ritter is his now." Now, call me crazy, but I don't think that's good news.
Not for
Oh.
Uncle Wolfie, no.
What are you
Am
gonna
I
do?
gonna get more
If I
people killed
figure it
now?
out, I'll let you know.
Okay, well, by the way, Mosley's dead. Just figured I'd let you know. You can
This-
actually show her his credit card.
Do you know anything about this?
How did you get Mosley's credit card? Never mind, I don't even want to know. Tell it to the judge.
By the way, literally everyone that I get involved in this shit dies. You should probably leave while you still can. You know, just putting it out there. All right. Well, we did not find Tetelo's remains. We did find Mosley's remains, and we looted Mosley's body, which is most unfortunate. So, anyways, this is a pretty clever little thing they did here. This is the same page from way back when we were doing the Kazanu puzzle, as you can see here, and there was the Cajun Critters Veterinary Clinic that we also used for the Kazanu puzzle. But there's also this See the World Travel Agency right here. They got a lot of mileage out of this item. Pretty clever here, and you have to think to come back and look for it, which, you know, I'm not very good at these games, believe it or not. I just, like I said in the last video, puzzles are really easy when you already know the solutions. So, with the See the World Travel Agency in mind, we can give them the old call.
Hello. See the World Travel Agency. How may I help you?
I'd like a trip to Rittersberg, Germany.
How much for a trip to Rittersberg, Germany?
Rittersberg, Germany? Hold on, let me look that up. I can fly you into Munich. That's the closest airport to Rittersberg. You can rent a car from there, or take the train. Let's see. The best price I can see for the flight is $1,400. What would you like to do?
Put it on my Americans Repressed.
Charge it to my Americans Repressed.
Yes, sir. And your name was?
Mosley.
feeling a little guilty. Gabriel gives the travel agent Mosley's card number and is informed that he can pick up his ticket at the New Orleans International Airport.
This is the second time in this game we've impersonated Mosley to do something illegal. Isn't it great?
Guess what? I'm going to Germany.
Really? That's great, but how on earth could you afford?
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Oh my God. I wouldn't like the sound of that even if you were a man.
I miss you too, Grace. I'm really gone, Grace.
I really hope you'll be safe, Gabriel.
Alright, Grace, I'm going to leave you here by yourself. I sure hope nothing happens to you while I'm away.
Bye, Gracie.
Good luck. Let me know what's going on, will you?
Of course.
Bye! Alright, and there's really nothing left for us to do here in New Orleans. One little thing I'd like to point out is if you try to go to Grandma's house...
No one answers Grand's front door. but a note sticking from the mail slot bears Gabriel's name. The note is from Gran and says that she's taken a short trip out of town on Grace's advice. Good old Grace.
So yeah, Grace is looking out for your grandma too. It's a nice touch. All right, the New Orleans International Airport. Let's get on out of here, shall we?
Gabriel picks up his tickets at the airport and boards a plane for Munich.
Do 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 do. And here we are in fairy tale land. This is a castle, all right.
Wolfgang?
Hello, my name is Knight, Gabriel Knight.
Sorry to be a disappointment.
Herr Knight. Oh, kommen Sie bitte, Herren. I mean, come in, please, Herr Knight. I was not expecting you. Has Wolfgang sent you here?
Uncle Wolfgang? No, I came to see him. Isn't he here?
No, he is gone. I'm sorry. You came all this way.
Oh, great. That's all I need.
Uncle,
Herr Knight, Wolfgang told me all about you and gave me instructions for you to feel welcome here. Please, this is your home. You are a Ritter, no? I am
sure.
just doing some work. I will continue and you may make yourself comfortable.
All right,
If
just,
there is anything
take
you
off
need,
my pants
please
here.
ask me. You may use Wolfgang's bedroom. It is at the top of the stairs.
Thank you, Miss,
You may call me Gerda, Herr Knight.
Yeah, I think we kind of knew Wolfgang wasn't here. He was off doing Schottenjäger business, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. And we have apparently Schloss Ritter is ours now. Hopefully that doesn't mean he's not planning to come back.
The main entry doors are massive. They look strong enough to withstand anything.
And yeah, this is just a complete change of scenery from what we saw earlier in the game. A pretty cool little castle here.
A few tapestries hang on the wall. Gabriel isn't sure if they mean something, or if they're just good insulation.
So yeah, this is actually, Schloss Ritter is in the second game as well, and it's actually based off of a real German castle, and so it doesn't really quite look like the sort of fairy tale castle that you're seeing here. And in the remake of Gabriel Knight 1, they actually kind of remodeled Schloss Ritter to look more like it does in the second game, and be a little bit more realistic. Not that I don't like the sort of fairy tale castle aesthetic they got going on here. I just thought I'd point that out. It's kind of it's a neat little touch, in my personal opinion. So anyway, as one does, we're here and we're gonna mix the conversation with the ladies.
Can I ask you a few questions?
And by that I mean,
Yeah, of course.
we're gonna ask her about voodoo. I'm sure she knows tons about voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Wolfgang is the only one who would know about that.
Alright, so I'll spare you. You could ask about all this stuff, but I think it's pretty obvious she's not going to know anything about the voodoo New Orleans stuff. But she might know a bit about Schottenjägers and about the family.
Tell me what you know about Schottenjägers.
As Wolfgang may have told you, Schattenjäger means shadow hunter. The Ritter family have always been Schattenjägers. It is a kind of priesthood, though not as restrictive as most.
They can still bang. That's what she means.
Tell me what you know about Schottenjägers.
Each Schattenjäger passes on his knowledge to a younger man in the Ritter line when the time is right.
So, can Wolfgang pass that on to me and not run off and do stupid shit? Just a thought.
Tell me what you know about Schottenjägers.
I'm sure Wolfgang meant for you to take his place someday as Schattenjäger.
Sure. Tell me about Wolfgang.
Tell me about Wolfgang.
What would you like to know?
The biggest... Moving on. Where do you think he went?
Where do you think Wolfgang went?
I don't know, but I have a feeling he has gone off to go be Schattenjäger again. He is too old for such chasing around. His heart is very weak. He has not left this castle for 5 years, and now this.
When do you think he'll be back?
Do you know when he'll be back?
I only pray he will be back. Before he left, he said Schloss Ritter now belongs to Gabriel.
You know,
It
it's
worried me
very,
so to hear him say that. I'm afraid Wolfgang knew he would never return.
It's a very worrisome thing to hear.
What is Wolfgang like?
Wolfgang is a truly wise and good man, the best I have ever known. But his life has been so full of disappointments.
I'm one of them.
What kind of disappointments?
His only son died in infancy, so there was no one to carry on the family line. And the family's financial troubles have been hard on him. Wolfgang wanted to do so much for the world, but it was all he could do just to hold on to Schloss Ritter. He has not left his mark as he wished to.
And you can ask a kind of personal question.
What is your relationship with Wolfgang?
Herr Knight, my relationship with your uncle is really none of your business.
You're right, Gerda. I apologize. Forget I asked.
It's one of the only times in the game so far that Gabriel's actually, apologized for that kind of thing.
Can you show me Wolfgang's library?
How do you know about his library?
When we talked on the phone, he said he was going to do some research in his library. I thought maybe if I saw what he was researching.
Ah, yeah. A good idea, Herr Knight, but I'm afraid I cannot show you the library. You see, I have never been in it. Only a Schattenjäger can enter the library.
Well, that's going to be a problem. And we could ask general information, but...
oh,
don't know that
nothing,
it's all
never
that
mind.
important.
As you like, Herr Knight.
So, let's talk about the Ritter family.
Tell me something about the Ritter family.
I can tell you what they say in the village, what I heard when I was small. To the villagers, the Ritters are a little, how do you say, tragic, to be pitied. They say that the Ritters were chosen by God to fight evil, but something happened. One of them was cursed, and so the Ritters lost the way.
Damn you,
They
Gunther.
struggle still, but like a lame dog, you see? Without the power or magic they once had.
People talking shit about my family? Well, what about Schloss Ritter?
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
Schloss Ritter has stood for many centuries, no one knows how long. It was once the pride of Bavaria, but now it is in disrepair. Wolfgang received offers to open the castle for tourists. He has resisted though, even though the castle is in desperate need of repairs. To him, this ground is sacred.
I see.
Tell me something about Schloss Ritter.
The castle has many, many rooms and passages, Herr Knight. Most have been closed off and are decaying in the dark and damp. Only a few rooms have been kept up due to the cost.
Didn't Wolfgang mention a library?
We've been over that already.
There is a library, but I've never been in it. There are places in the castle where only the master is allowed to go.
Well, we'll have to break into a few of those.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was born in Rittersburg, the village below the castle.
Cool, that's all I need to know. Bye. Alright, and there's a few things in this room we can pick up, and since this is an adventure game, you pick up everything you can.
A large handcraft dagger hangs on the wall. It looks quite old, but it's been polished to a high shine.
Well, we finally have a weapon. Snap it.
This dagger.
It is the knife of a Schattenjäger. You may take it, Herr Knight. Everything in this castle is yours now.
Sweet! Alright, we have a dagger now.
Do you want this dagger back?
No, it belongs to your family.
Sorry, I love making adventure game characters look like doofuses. It's a personal hobby of mine.
It's a shake of salt.
I see. So much to get this
At the
back
moment.
to... What?
At the moment, Gabriel can't think of a need for the salt.
I need to give that back to Jimmy Buffett. Okay, it actually won't let us pick up the item before we know we need it. That's unusual. Alright, well, let's have a look around. They said, Wolfgang's bedroom is up here. Nice place, I could get used to it.
Wolfgang's bedroom would hold Gabriel's entire studio 4 times over. Not exactly cozy, but Gabriel could get used to it.
I don't know, I think the big-ass fireplace is pretty cozy.
Either Wolfgang left very recently, or Gertie feels quite at home in this room herself.
They bang. Okay, we have this little door over here. This must lead to the
The
library.
head of a lion stares at Gabriel from above the door. Near the bed is an elaborate wooden door.
And if you look right over the door, you can see there's some letters here.
The portal says, Nur der Reinste darf passieren. Diesen Herz ist rein wie Glas. Diesen Seele rein wie Führer. Schreitet Hörner durch Portal.
You know, that borders a little bit on pixel hunting IMO, but I guess I've seen worse in these games before. In fact, I've seen worse in this game. Well, you know, it's not exactly an elegant solution to the problem, but
That would have little effect on the door.
well, let's just try to open it then.
It's locked.
Well, you know, we can...
That would probably only ruin the keyhole and
Wow. You have to actually click on the keyhole. I mean, the message wasn't even that funny, but like, whatever, moving on. And we have a little case over here.
a large display case hangs on the wall. It contains a scroll.
And when I was doing my playtesting for this video, I tried every icon to read the fucking scroll, but no, you have to take the
This
scroll.
looks interesting.
You can't just read it when it's in the case. There's also some scissors
Gabriel takes the scissors.
and a shit pot. It didn't tell us what that was, but we have a chamber pot.
The chamber pot is old, but clean.
That part is important. Alright, let's get on out of here. I took this chamber pot.
Gabriel would rather not share the chamber pot with Gerda.
Come on, it could be like a fun communal activity. I found the scroll.
Can you tell me about this scroll?
It is the scroll of St. George, patron saint of England, and of the Ritter family.
I see. Like St. George's books? Interesting.
Gabriel doesn't want to hand.
Read the damn thing, my dude. Okay, what's it say?
St. George, patron of the light, who hunts the shadows of the night. Upon my blood I call thee now, purify me, for I avow to set my feet upon thy road, thy sword I take up for mine own.
I see. Very interesting. So those inscriptions over the door.
Can I ask,
Yeah,
We don't exactly speak German.
there are some words over the locked door in Wolfgang's bedroom. What do they mean?
ah yes. Wolfgang had me translated as part of my English lessons. In English it means, only the purest here may pass. He whose heart is pure as glass. He whose soul is pure as fire. Through this portal passes higher.
Great, thanks.
Okay, so apparently we need to be pure of heart to enter the room or something like that. She said it was only for Schattenjägers though. I don't know if it's some kind of magical door or whatnot. Maybe we just need to find the key. There's also another room over here that we can look into. He's got a little chapel in here.
Perhaps it's an illusion caused by the colored lights from the window. But this chapel gives Gabriel a sense of something truly mystical.
And we have St. George and the Dragon.
A magnificent stained glass window depicts the legendary battle between St. George and the dragon.
I named my shop after you. You've always fascinated me. I just never knew why until now.
And there's some really cool little tapestries on the wall over here.
3 panels hang from each side of the chapel. Gabriel cannot determine what their purpose might be.
I see. Maybe that's something else we can ask Gerda about.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Tell me about those chapel panels.
What can you tell me about those wall panels in the chapel?
The hangings? They describe the Schattenjäger initiation ceremony.
I see. Tell me about it.
Tell me about the Schattenjäger initiation ceremony.
Each young man of the Ritter line must go through the ceremony when he dedicates himself to be a Schattenjäger.
But what does the ceremony do?
I do not know, Herr Knight. The only people present are the old Schattenjäger and the new. But I think it must be similar to a priest's ordination or a wedding, a ceremony of intent and oath.
You.
Is there a problem, Herr Knight?
You said wedding.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
okay now.
Okay, then.
Is there anything else you can tell me about that initiation ceremony?
I really do not know any more about it.
So the panels in the church describe a Schattenjäger initiation ceremony, and only Schattenjägers can enter into the library. So, I think you can figure out what we need to do here. We need to become initiated as a Schattenjäger. So, what do we have here?
According to Gerda, the panels outline the Schattenjäger's initiation ceremony. The first panel shows hands and water. The first panel...
Oh, it literally already said that, and I clicked it again for some reason.
The second panel shows hair and a knife.
Oh, Gabriel won't like that one.
The third panel shows a chalice on a table with ocean waves in the background.
I see.
The fourth panel shows a knife and a few drops of blood. The fifth panel shows someone kneeling. The sixth panel shows a scroll.
So I am a little embarrassed to say how long in my playtest video it took me to figure out you needed to talk to Gerda and ask her about these before you could actually do what you're supposed to do. So we need to perform these actions in order here. So, well, you don't have to perform them in order. The game, again, this is not a super punishing Sierra game. If this were like King's Quest 3, if you did them in the wrong order, you'd just be fucked. But you can actually do them in the wrong order and the game doesn't punish you, but I'll try to do them in the right order. So now we can finally...
Is that a shaker of salt?
Yeah, salt.
Mind if I take it?
No?
Now we
Thanks.
can actually yoink the salt shaker. And I wonder what she
This-
says if you try to give it back to her.
You want this salt back?
No, you may keep it.
Okay, just wanted to make sure it was okay. You be sure to salt them taters now. So the first thing we can do is we can open the window here, and we can wash our hands in the snow.
Thinking of the first chapel panel, Gabriel washes his hands in the snow.
And the second panel showed cutting hair. Now they used a knife in the panel,
Yes.
but we have scissors, because that's a little more modern.
Thinking of the second chapel panel, Gabriel cuts his hair.
I hate this. There, that's plenty.
Now the third panel is the chalice and ocean waves, which I don't have a chalice, but I have a shit pot, which I guess that's good enough for a ceremony, right? And from the ocean you're supposed to get salt. I don't really know how, but that's what you're supposed to get from that.
That's an interesting thought. But there would be less chance of spilling the salt if Gabriel put the chamber pot down first.
Okay, so let's go take old Uncle Wolfgang's piss pot and put it on the chapel altar. I'm not sure if that counts as defilement or not, but it's for a good cause, alright? And we'll just take this and we'll set it right on down.
Thinking of the third panel, Gabriel puts the chamber pot on the altar.
And we'll take and we'll salt our chamber pot. That's a sentence that's never been said before.
Gabriel knows the salt is important.
No, don't put it on the
Thinking
altar.
of the third panel, Gabriel pours the contents of the salt shaker into the chamber pot.
And next we have the blood, so we'll use the old Schattenjäger dagger for that.
Thinking of the fourth panel, Gabriel holds his arm over the chamber pot and nicks it with the dagger.
Oops, nearly hit an artery.
And again for good measure.
I'm not gonna cut myself again.
Where's your sense of adventure, Gabriel? There's no way to be. And now we can kneel.
Thinking of the fifth panel, Gabriel kneels at the altar.
And the final one is the scroll. You ready, folks? Here we go.
Thinking of the sixth panel, Gabriel reads the scroll.
St. George, patron of the light, who hunts the shadows of the night, upon my blood I call thee now. Purify me, for I avow to set my feet upon thy road. Thy sword I take up for mine own.
Oh my god!
Oh, excuse me. I was just vacuuming. I did not know you were in here.
Bitch, there's 3
Oh,
rooms
that's
in this
alright.
house.
I've done about all I can do in here anyway. I give up.
You look tired, Herr Knight. Why don't you go to bed?
Sure, why not?
I will clean everything up. You need not worry.
I can't believe I cut my hair for nothing.
And day turns to night. That's a dragon, all
Your
right.
soul smells, Gabriel Knight. You seek to be Schattenjäger.
I do.
You must first burn away the past. How much sin do you have to burn? You have used people all your life. Never committed to anything. Turn back now, and I will forget that you asked for this.
No!
There are only 2 things that redeem you. First, that you have Ritter blood in your veins. Second, that 3 women have loved you purely. You asked to start on the path, so you shall. But you will not be a Schattenjäger until you have earned it.
How?
I cannot show you the path, but I can tell you that you will have to let go of the greater part of yourself, Gabriel Knight.
No problem.
Yes. Now you asked for purification. You shall have it. Oh, no!
Well, that was a dream, all right. Saw a key in our dream. Day 8. Inside a hidden chamber where I had no right to be. I found the wheel at last. Or could it be? The wheel found me.
What a night. I'm sore all over.
Alright. And I think that takes us to a pretty good place to stop the video for today. Apparently Gabriel is not quite qualified to be a Schattenjäger yet. 3 women loved him purely, apparently. I think that's referring to Malia and Grace, but I don't know who the 3rd is supposed to be. Probably either his mother or his grandmother, but I'm not really sure. Anywho, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Probably only have, I would guess, about 2 videos left. Maybe 3. Depends. We'll see how it goes. As always, thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a good